Okay, testing. Oh, my UI looks different. Wow, that's crazy. Thank you for stopping in for another Fatsu Batsu video. So in this video, we're basically going over some hot takes that Twitter had for Mortal Kombat 1. But there was a lot of content here that I kind of wanted to dive into and talk about. So I decided that I'm going to break it up into 2 parts. So part 2 will be out probably in like a day or 2. It's already done, no need to worry about it, but just be on the lookout for that. Also, you guys have been absolutely crushing it in terms of likes. We've got some new subscribers coming to the channel, really appreciate that as well. So if you're not already subscribed, or if you're like watching the videos and not liking them, both of those things do help my channel out a lot. Obviously, you're not obligated to. I'm grateful that you're even stopping by and just watching my content, but if you could support in that little way, it does mean a lot. Anyways, I've been yapping on long enough about the intro. Let's get into the actual meat of the video. See y'all on the flip side. Pop 'em in the sky till they never gon' get a turn from it. Burn stomachs cutting like my blade is immortal. Bitch, open a portal, I slice you till your parts out of order. Your head and your torso, I murder your gore. You got a death wish. Keep my hat spinning, I'm watching them get their neck split. Toxic, boxed it. You ain't gonna block this. Perfect every legend and sonically outfoxed. You know what we haven't done in a minute? We haven't done a YouTube video where we look at Twitter. And I haven't looked at Twitter in a minute because Twitter's degenerate, but I do kind of... So, here. This is the tweet we're going to be looking at today. We're going to look at MK1 hot takes. The game has been out for about, I think, a week now, a little over a week. Ew, there's something on this page. Ew, ew, ew. I just want to see where the community's, like, feeling the game and where they're not. See if these takes are actually hot or if this is just, like... whatever, but we'll see. Anyways, let's go ahead and go through the list. Cameos are both the best and worst thing to happen in MK. Best equals super creative combos and playstyles. Worst equals extremely easy to do high damage or things that shouldn't work normally. I don't know how I feel about the worst part. I do think cameos are a really good system for the game. There are a few things that I dislike, and I wish that more cameos were utilized, because at the moment it's just been mostly Serena. There's been a little bit of Jax, and it's a lot of people just doing it to increase their combo potential rather than do other stuff. I haven't seen hardly any Motaro, even though everybody thought he was going to be broken. I haven't seen hardly any Kung Lao. It's mostly just been Cyrax, Serena, and then a little bit of Darius every now and then if you're lucky. The reason I disagree with the take though is I think you should be able to have those long and fun combos. I just think that it should be other cameos. I think there should be value for other cameos. They need to add more customization. 1 item per character isn't enough. 2 to 3 skins per character isn't enough for an MK game on launch. Content is so bare. When you finish invasion mode, what else is there to do apart from Combat League? We barely see the dialogue screens. I don't know why it'd be put underneath a hot take thread, because I think this is very obvious. I'm indifferent on the 1 item per character thing, just because I don't like having to grind for like 3 different types of items, and all 3 of those items don't really mix and match unless you get like a set. So I kind of like having only like 1 item per character, but I do agree about the whole skin thing. I think there should be way more skins than there are in the game right now. I think there should be a lot more content in the game than there is right now. And the dialogue screens is also a really big issue that I have. I wish that in ranked or online or anywhere you'd be able to actually see the intro dialogues. And that's a shame, because there's some really damn good dialogue this time around, so.
You own leather made from reptiles.
What? Yeah, it's not like I skinned your cousin Vinny. You're about as stock as they come, villain.
What does that even mean?
Well, if it isn't Special Agent Takahashi of the FBI.
It's not funny anymore, Cage.
I hope they do kind of like patch that in so we can see it in other places, not just the local fight. It's too easy to perform 400 damage combos. Some infinite combos are super boring in online matches like Shang Tsung. Cameos are nice but unbalanced as fuck. I'm indifferent on this one a little bit. I think it depends on the character. I think this is a more character by character basis. I do think some characters like Raiden, for example, do have it a little bit easier than others. But the other thing too is like online, you're not seeing too many people pull off these massive 400, 500 hit combos, right? That takes like a lot of skill and a lot of practice, and you see it from a lot of the high elo players, and you see it from the tournament players as well. But as for 90% of your Combat League matches and 90% of like your casual online experience, You're not really getting put in a 400 damage combo. I do think the Shang Tsung one is a little annoying in terms of just how long you're getting juggled. But the damage scaling on that is just so ridiculously insane that you're not really... It's just kind of eating your time more than actually killing you, if that makes sense. But yeah, I do agree. Cameos are really good for the game, but I don't think there's enough of a balance of them right now. I think there's only like 3 that are great. And then there are some that just are kind of whatever. Really cool story, new character designs, feels like a total reboot of the franchise. I really enjoyed it. See, I don't think this is a hot take either, because I've seen a lot of love and support for the new game. I also understand that a lot of people kind of prefer MK11 and stuff like that, which doesn't make any sense to me, because I think it's like when the prequels came out and everybody hated the prequels, and then the sequel trilogy came out and everybody was like, oh, the prequels actually weren't all that bad. No, like, MK11 was not a good game. I think we are at a point in society where we can all agree that MK11 was not a great game, okay? It was fine for what it was, but don't get it twisted. It wasn't crazy, it wasn't great. It's the easiest Mortal Kombat, which is a gift and a curse. On one hand, it's easy to learn and jump into, and on the other hand, performing 450 damage combos is too easy. I don't know how I feel about this. Like I said, I don't think you're having intermediate players pulling off these big combos. Do I think it's the easiest Mortal Kombat? I don't know. I think there are some cameos that make it like really easy. But the skill ceiling itself is just so high in the game. My thing is, the skill ceiling is so high because you have like really high concept characters that can do incredible things, right? And then you have, admittedly, Baraka Cyrax, which even if you don't hit, you're chipping them for a shit ton of damage and you're safe. So I'm not 100% certain where the game is in terms of difficulty level at the moment. I think we'll have to give it a little while longer, but I do think that when you learn like the easy bread and butters and when you learn the easy cameos, then the game is relatively easy. Love the game, stellar story, well polished and vibrant. Cameos are awesome, but take away the good old 1v1 element and smack talking, which made matches unique, funny, and personal. I don't think this take is too hot. I think a lot of people kind of prefer 1v1 over the cameo. I don't think it takes away from the 1v1 aspect. I think it just kind of amplifies it. Invasion mode is fun, but other than downloading the maps the first time, there's absolutely no reason that I need to be online to play this mode since it's single player. Care to explain this? I really do agree with this. I don't think you should be online for the single... Like, I think it's kind of fucked up that a lot of the stuff that Mortal Kombat 1 has, you're required to be online to do. Invasion sucks. I disagree. I think Invasion's fun. I wish Invasion mode was more like Conquest mode. I want to walk around this new beautiful era of Mortal Kombat 1. I really do agree with this. I kind of hate the linear aspect of it. I mean, I know why it is what it is, but Johnny is a waste of roster space. That's a hot take. That's crazy. I disagree, but I understand where this person might be coming from. We have had Johnny consistently. Like, you take a look at MKX, you take a look at MK11, you take a look at MK1, you take a look at movies. He's just like... He's a really well-loved character, and I think he's not necessarily the staple of Mortal Kombat, but he's like very much the most welcoming character, I'd say. He's like just really goofy. He embodies the series perfectly, I think. Do I think he could sit out a game? I think like he could, but I don't think I'd want him to. I don't think anybody would really, except for like this person. I don't think that many people would want him to sit out because I feel like he just adds so much comic relief that you wouldn't necessarily get with that many other characters. Like, you think of story mode right now, like half of everything that Johnny said was funny. Like, you had the alien reference, you had the, oh my god, it's a Soulnado. Like, I don't know. I think he's too goofy to take out. I think it gets kind of a little, it might get a little stale or a little too serious and not as fun if you take Johnny Cage out. But if you can add some more like comic relief characters to the series, I think that Johnny Cage could in theory sit out. Somebody said this isn't a hot take, this is just an awful take. It has the best soundtrack from the modern NetherRealm era by a country mile and top 3 of all time. I think it's not as good as MK9, but MK9 really did have some insane hits. I do think that MK1 is really, really, really good, though. Johnny Cage's mansion, the soul forest, the dead woods. Oh my god, I can't. The corrupted forest of the living, whatever it is. NetherRealm Studios did Shao dirty. He went from being the best antagonist in the franchise to a jobber. Would have been better having Reiko as the general and excluding Shao from the story mode altogether. Bonus: the pick your own fighter for the final chapter was stupid. Okay, I'll tackle both of these separately. I think in the context of the story, it makes sense for Shao to be kind of a shitter. I think MK11, they absolutely disrespected him. And I think MK9, they also kind of treated him like shit. But I think for Mortal Kombat 1, it makes a little more sense. I mean, like, he's born as, like, a shell of who he is supposed to be. And I mean, like, he's not even really that bad of a guy. He just wants what's best for Outworld. Granted, he is a little crazy. He is a bit of a meathead. I don't think they inherently did him dirty this game, though. I mean, he jobs for sure, but that's mostly because the changing of his backstory.
Yeah.